Hello and welcome to Value Chain TV News Update. I am Adalbi Ogwejofor with the news. And on the news update, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to take responsibility over the crude oil sales from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Under the new agreement, NNPC will submit receipts for crude oil sales to CBN for vetting and documentation for transparency and accountability. CBN Governor Mr. Olayemi Cardoso stated that the collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and the NNPC is to ensure that all foreign inflows are returned to the central bank and block any gap in the crude oil sales and declared receipts. Over the years, NNPC Limited has maintained sole control over crude oil sales, only rendering accounts to the federal government. Some Nigerians have reacted to this development.
He's doing the right thing because this man, the former emir of Kano State, Sanusi, said it that there is they don't monitor every drop of oil in Nigeria. So if they don't monitor them, there is no way they can monitor where the money goes to. So if he takes charge, I'm sure he will be able to know where the money goes to, where every drop of oil. If you go to countries like Saudi Arabia, all they know, they have a boardroom where they know where all their oil goes to. So I think it's good if it takes over.
With the way I see things right now, people are saying Tinubu is doing the right thing. You know, to me, okay, first of all, him trying to transfer CBN from Abuja to Lagos, that's kind of wants to take things, everything to himself, because that's his state, that's where he's from. And trying to do all that thing to put in CBN, trying to transfer all the NNPC money to CBN, probably he wants to get everything for himself. That's my own reasoning. He wants to get everything for himself, and which is it's not even thinking about the poor masses, how they feel. He doesn't want their opinion. He just wants to do things on his own.
This issue, there's nothing like on take. Is looting aspect. There's nothing that is going to the CBN that is going to give accountability. The money they have recovered so far from the FCC, they cannot give account. The money they recover from Abacha loot, they cannot give account. Not the profit or the revenues NNPC will generate now. They will take to CBN, they can give account. It's all about the looting.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Mr. Ekperikwe Ekpo, has assured of uninterrupted supply to the Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project. This was disclosed in a statement by the minister's spokesman, Louis Iba. Ekpo said Nigeria would play a pivotal role in the marketing of the product within the African Union and the European Union. The pipeline is expected to traverse the Republic of Benin, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, Senegal, Mauritania, and terminates in Morocco with a spur in Spain. The newly commissioned Dango Refinery has concluded plans to import crude oil from the United States in the coming months. Information gathered by Value Chain TV indicates that Trafigura Group has sold 2 million barrels of WTI Midland to the Dangote Refinery for delivery by the end of February 2024. The move is the first time the refinery will be buying non-Nigerian crude. Value Chain asked some Nigerians their opinions regarding this.
I don't think it's a good idea. Why? Because our country now, we need, I think we need a better Nigeria. We are an oil-producing country, and we don't see why someone, a very high-profile personnel in Nigeria, who knows that Nigeria is an oil-producing country, we go outside to import crude oil into our country, which already has oil. I think he needs to collect our own oil, refine it, and bring it back, so that we are already having a fuel scarcity and a fuel increase in the country. I think him collecting or getting our own crude oil and refining it in his own company here in Nigeria will actually go a long way in helping us, instead of us taking our crude oil outside to refine, then bringing it back to Nigeria in higher cost. I think he shouldn't do that. That is not a good one for us.
Yeah, for me, everything about Dangote is a fraud. So anything he likes, let him say. I don't believe everything about him. He commissioned the refinery that was not complete. And now he's talking about importing crude from wherever. We don't have enough crude, right? Why? There's a question. There's an underlying question between importing crude and not having enough crude in Nigeria. Something is wrong somewhere. So for people like me, Dangote is as free as doing whatever he's best known for.
The core investors in Union, Polaris, and Keystone banks are contesting the takeover by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The investors are insisting that the process by which their respective boards and managements were removed was in violation to the rules set by the same Apex Bank, being the regulator of the banking sector. Value Chain TV gathered that earlier this month, CBN had in a statement announced the dissolution of the boards and management of the three banks over the alleged corporate governance infractions and non-compliance with regulatory requirements, adding that the banks and their boards failed to comply with the provisions of Section 12C, F, G, and H of Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act. CBN had also appointed 2 new executives, each to oversee the affairs of the banks. Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has said that the departure of multinationals from the country would create an opportunity for genuine and committed local investors to step in and contribute to the growth of development of the Nigerian oil sector. Hope Uzodinma said this while addressing newsmen recently. He expressed concerns over what he described as double standards employed by multinational corporations such as Shell, Mobil, Chevron, and Total Energies in their operations within the Nigerian oil sector. While advocating for a level playing field for both local and international investors, the governor stressed the importance of fostering fair competition and promotion of interests of the local business community. The exit of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic may weaken the trade volume of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, with the world. In an interview with Value Chain TV, an economist, Aliyu Iliya, said that a significant amount of trade volume will be reduced with the pulling out of the 3 African countries. S.A. Ufoma completes the report.
Mr. Iliya faulted the Nigerian president, advising that he find subtle ways to resolve the issue and pay attention to those within the ECOWAS as every country counts.
I'd like to fault our president too, president of Nigeria, because you don't manage such diplomatic issue because of global decision. Sometimes you have to look at bilateral relationship. So for me, I have to fault the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he did not look at bilateral relationship before you look at ECOWAS, before you now look at Africa, before you now look at the world. You have to look at the immediate benefits that Nigeria benefit from Niger also, Nigeria benefit from Mali and also Burkina Faso. So you have to look at this little Sahel region and see how you can actually manage them, because every country counts.
He stated that the exit of the countries is abrupt with no prior warning, as in the case of Mauritania, which informed of their withdrawal a year before exiting. Mr. Iliya noted that the reason for the exit was poverty and the desire to break away from France, as well as to gain sovereignty over their individual resources.
Right. If you ask me, I think it's quite expected. They have requested to even speak to ECOWAS severally. So they have pushed ECOWAS, let's see you. Things are not what you are looking at. And I agree with them to some extent. Remember, if you look at the main reason of these coups, they said there is poverty. Poverty is deep in their country. Upon their level of economic viability, poverty has deepened. So their excuse now is that our people are suffering because it is called people's school. If you go to this country, it is their address as people's school. You see, they overthrew elected government and people are jubilating that they are going to be better off when they are with military compared. So Africa beyond that must also make sure that the economic welfare of people are also better, because the more they have bad economic situation, the more they opted for that. So for me, for Niger, for Mali, and for Burkina Faso, they are struggling country already. So now that you have denied them power, electricity. You have denied them a lot of things. They think, well, let them go deep into it. And their aim is that they came together so that they can fight together. Remember, there is a agreement within three of them that if ECOWAS fights one country, three of them will join together to fight ECOWAS. So they are looking at that combination. And look at them, they are French-speaking countries. And you also notice another body language, international politics. France is a major, they are the one that colonized them, but they want to get away from France. And look at our president. He has gone to France to also meet with the, you call it private visit. So they are now looking at that thing that now our enemy is who you are now going to. So they have to be extra careful. And I will agree with them as an African person. If you are colonized by British, you have sovereignty to your economic resources, but if you are francophone, I mean you are colonized by France, your economic depends on them. Your president will go to their country as a senator, and look at what is happening. Look at example of Paul Biya. This man has been president for 31 years because he's answerable to them. They allow him to subjugate their people into poverty. So their major reason is poverty, and they want to break away from France. Perhaps all their natural resources are being annexed by France, like their lithium, a lot of natural resources, and they said no, let us have at least power over our natural resources. Perhaps we can give you some percentage. So I will agree with them economically. They are in the midst of their plenty, they are actually suffering, and the France is not doing anything to make sure they go. So for me, I think France also should learn from this to whittle down their way of managing countries they colonize. It is time for them to give them total sovereignty on not only their natural resources, even their way of life.
Data from the region's Trade Information System portal reveal that as of 2022, the total trade volumes, including import and export, from the ECOWAS region totaled $277 billion. However, the trade figures of the economic bloc is being threatened by a recent move by the military leaders of these countries. For Value Chain TV, S.A. Ufoma reporting.
And that's it on the news update. I am Adalbio Gwejofor. Thanks for staying with us.